DAE think the new Avatar was kinda lame? For some reason action flicks are just not hitting right these days. It all feels super bland and unexciting. I was expecting the new one to be as good as the first one and it wasn't, so I was a little disappointed. Not only were there enough plot holes and stupid things to fill the Marianas Trench, but the frame rate was so disgusting to look at I began to despise the movie. I'll never watch again. And won't watch any sequels if they keep that awful frame rate up. This is part of why it was off https://www.cnbc.com/amp/2023/01/07/y Indigenous groups are boycotting Avatar: The Way of Water. HTML. I didn't think the new Atla was coming out until 2025? Yes. But so was the first one. Didn't have to be that long. TBH. I've not seen it. But I think this is the consensus opinion, isn't it? 2 or 3 star film. The fact that the plot was largely similar and the main antagonists were the same guys, just blue, was a tad disappointing. I don't understand that entire franchise. I elected to watch Puss in Boots 2 instead. I loved it, but I'm not expecting a narrative masterpiece from Avatar. I didn't see it. I heard it was meh. So I didn't bother. Yes. I was actually bored for half the movie because I kept thinking, okay, but what's the plot apostrophe and apos? Plus, the amount of bro repeated in 3 hours of movie were too excessive. I haven't seen it. But that was the general impression I've heard from nearly anyone who has seen it. They think that the average daily goal of 10,000 steps seems a bit high? It should be seen more as a target than an expectation. For the average person it will require exercise to bump them up to 10,000 in a day. Which in my opinion is a good suggestion since most people don't exercise enough. Yimo, this symbol is how 10,000 is written in Japanese. It looks kinda like a man walking fast. A Japanese company called Yamasa created a pedometer to encourage fitness in Japan after they hosted the Olympics in the 60s. It was called the Monpo K, meaning 10,000 steps, solely because the symbol for 10,000 looks like a person walking. That is why 10K is the target. That's how arbitrary it is. When I used to work retail I would easily get 20,000 a day. I also worked out running/walking on top of that. Now that I have a desk job and often work from and haven't been exercising, it's embarrassing and scary how few steps I get. I used to wonder how people couldn't get to 10,000 because I used to get that easily. Now, OMFG, I'd be happy getting that in a week in the winter. In the summer I do better. But still sad. Maybe it depends on the measuring device, watch/phone. I feel they're not all accurate. My watch gets me to 10K easily after a medium work day. And I always thought it feels inaccurate because it's not as hard as I'd expect. I've reached over 20K before on hardcore days. I work in a lab, so lots of walking getting reagents. Bench to office. Cafeteria breaks, etc. And I take the tram, 4 minutes walk to the stop near me. And 6 minutes walk from the stop to the university. So 20 minutes total just walking to stops. Why am I expected to tip based on the final bill total versus the service? Why are you spending $300 for a $50 experience? My so was a server when we met and I seriously have a newfound respect for the service. It's a difficult job. Especially when you have to deal with people that go to a $300 restaurant and bitch about having to take care of the person that makes that experience what it is. Don't go to a $300 restaurant and get cheap when the bill comes. Just one of those things people do that is stupid and most people will agree that it's stupid. But nobody will do anything about it because that's the way it's always been. Yes, you are. The waiter literally has to pay everyone a percentage of their sales. If you have the money for a $300 dinner, you have the $60 for the tip. There is no way a $300 dinner is the same as a $50 one. Here's a better example for your question. Why are we paying different tip at the same restaurant depending the price of the menu when we should all be getting the same service regardless of what we order? Because tips go by percentage of total tip. So if you do the math and take the same percentage and times it by 50 versus 300, 50 will have a lower number than 300. Do I think it's how tipping should work? Not really. But that's the way it is. I might sound stupid here. But why don't restaurants just make you pay an hourly wage to the servers? Like you go and pick your server and pay them a flat fee regardless of what you order? I mean, the waiters will have multiple customers an hour, so they will make multiple hourly wage income. I get what you're saying, but in theory the fancy steakhouse should have better service and atmosphere. In my mind. That's what I'm paying for. Also, I usually tip based on both. I go in with the expectation of tipping 20% of my bill. If service is bad I tip less. If service is good I tip more. Would you forgive your GF if she ghosted you? Why or why not? I'm sorry, Op. This makes me really sad for you. I hope you find a woman who puts the effort into you in the relationship. I could not forgive someone who does that. Not because of suddenly being busy or needing to cancel the trip. But because she didn't even tell you she was busy or couldn't at least text halfway through your visit. She should have told you the second she knew you had that ticket. She was on her phone at some point in those 7 whole days and she knew you were all alone in a different country. That's just really cold-hearted. Greater than then yesterday she finally responded saying she was just super busy and apologized. You left out the with another guy's penis there. How could you be actually considering forgiving her? Let me ask you a serious question. Are you sending her money? She obviously has no intention of ever actually seeing you again unless all her other options fall apart or she can continue to get stuff from you. Even if the other guy didn't exist. She ghosted you for an entire trip. Wasting your time and money. Move on, man. Dude. I can tell what happened 100%. She wants to leave you. When she went to Canada she saw how it would feel to be single. I guarantee she took some maple syrup dick there. She ghosted because she didn't want you come, and then when you came, she was too embarrassed to say she did that. So she ignored the problem. Now that she got some dick, maybe she saw how hard dating is or started to miss you or wasn't fucked good enough to leave you. Now you can do two things. Wait for her to come back and be loser whose GF was pounded by whole Canadian hockey team, or find new GF. Because this one belongs to us all. You know the answer.